Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. By now, you have probably all heard the term weaponized incompetence, right? But if you haven't, let me catch you up. Weaponized incompetence is when someone deliberately manipulates someone into doing something by pretending that they don't know how to do it, or by using language like, but you do it so much better than me, that sort of thing. And it is extremely prevalent, especially among heterosexual couples, especially coming from men. We see a lot of examples of it. It is so normalized. It's seen as a very comedic thing when it's done in TV shows and movies. And it's just a very upsettingly normal thing that so many people accept as a normal part of a relationship, and so many people do without even realizing that it's abusive. So today I thought that we would talk about that, and I thought we would do that by going through some TikToks, because that's how we normally do things around here, right? Before I do get into it, I would like to say a massive thank you to today's patron of the day, Trini. I appreciate you and your support so much, so thank you for joining. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and I appreciate it greatly, so thank you. To find these TikToks, I wasn't exactly sure what to search because, people aren't exactly just posting toxic things they're doing with the tag weaponized incompetence. And then a lot of women who are complaining about their partners doing this also aren't posting it under that tag because they're kind of doing not really realizing what it is. So I had to be specific and get inside their minds and think, what would they post? What would they tag these as that they would think is funny and valid to have on TikTok as almost a trend? And then it hit me. So I searched when the wife leaves me alone with the kids. And there are thousands of TikToks under this. There are a couple of different main themes that fall underneath this tag in particular. One of the recurring themes under this tag is fathers immediately calling their mothers to look after the kids and take the responsibility once their wives leave. And you see that through TikToks like this one.
Wife is out tonight, so I'm looking after the kids on my own. Strange though, I've just got this sudden urge to go to my mum's. I haven't seen her for a while. Kids haven't really seen her for a while. Haters will say I'm doing it for the help, but that is controversial and unfair. Mum, when they finish their dinner, they need a bath, all right? Sweet.
I just don't find it very funny, right? He posted this as a joke, but I don't really think there's very much funny about not being able to look after your kids. And not only not being able to look after your kids, but not wanting to. If you don't want to look after your kids and spend time with your kids, that's sad. And also just the whole idea that it's a woman's job, right? It's my wife does all of the caring for the kids. I don't really participate in that. I don't really want to participate in that. I don't want to do it by myself. So I'm just going to go and give the full responsibility to another woman instead, because I don't want to do it. That's not my job. I am a man. This is a woman's job. So I'm going to go leave my kids with my mother. Bro, it's not funny. It's not a flex. It's just you saying you don't really have a connection with your kids and you don't intend on building one. You should be able to be a father and be a parent. It's not a mother's role to look after the kids. It's a parent's role to look after the kids. And then there's this other one.
Okay, you sure you got this?
Yeah, we're gonna be fine.
I'm only gonna be gone for 2 days. You can handle it.
Seriously, please, go. Okay, have fun. Text me when you get there.
Here's Mimi.
Hey, here's Mama. Where's my babies at? Oh my goodness.
So this one starts with a woman leaving for a couple days, leaving her husband at home with the kids. And she's like, are you sure you've got this? Are you sure you can handle the responsibility of looking after our kids? And he's like, yeah, obviously I got this. Go have fun. Which, is normal to be able to look after your kids for a few days. It's sad that she feels the need to ask so many times. You should just be able to trust your partner to look after the kids, because I doubt that if the roles were reversed, he would be anxious about leaving her and being like, are you sure you can look after the kids by yourself? Are you sure you're okay? I feel like I doubt that would happen. But then being like, the second she leaves, immediately both of us texting both of our moms because neither of us believe I can do this is so wild to me. Because firstly, you should have communicated that first. It's so sad to not trust your partner to look after your kids. Like, I couldn't imagine having a partner whom I don't trust to look after my children. And I understand that it's a big deal to look after kids. Like, that's a difficult thing to do, and it's okay to need help, you know? But at the same time, I just don't think the same courtesy would have been done in reverse, and I just genuinely think that I don't think he wants to look after the kids at all. It's the like, dad is for play and mum is for care kind of thing that is so prevalent everywhere. Because yeah, there's a reason they both texted their mums, right? These get like tens of thousands of likes, and there are so many of them. It's like quite astounding how many videos there are of mothers leaving and fathers immediately passing the responsibility onto their own mothers. I don't find it cute. I don't find it funny. Please learn how to look after your children. And then the other thing that is so prevalent under this tag is men crying and begging for their wives not to leave them alone with their kids. Like, they can't think of anything worse than having to spend time with their children. Which is so sad. So it's like these. So this one says, when my wife leaves me alone with the kids for the weekend, and it is him sitting on the floor crying while she's getting ready, and then him holding on to her ankle as she is trying to leave, like screaming not to go. There are hundreds of these. This exact same TikTok of men crying about their wives leaving them alone for the weekend and like grabbing onto their ankle for dear life, begging them not to leave them at home with their kids. And it's so sad and so heartbreaking that one, these people post this on the internet for their kids to see, and two, just like, imagine not wanting to spend time with your kids. Imagine just like thinking the worst thing in the world is spending time with your kids. That's so sad. You should love your kids. You should want to look after your kids. Like, you should want to play with your kids and spend time with your kids and bond with your kids. But I genuinely think that you should want to look after them. Like, I feel like, you know, caring for your kid, like playing with them, reading to them, cooking for them, all of that is part of the parent experience that you signed up for. You should enjoy doing that. Like, it's a hassle and it's hard work, but it is what you signed up for. And also just like, I don't know, it just should be something that you enjoy. And it's so sad that you're like crying and begging your wife not to leave you alone with your kids. Because apparently not only do these men not know how to look after their kids, they just don't want to spend time with them because they hate their kids. Why do you hate your kids? That's so sad. I feel so sad for their kids and for their partners. Like, these women deserve so much better, and these kids deserve so much better. These people, these fucking men piss me off so much. There's no time for you. There's no space for you. Leave. Get out, please. Because, like, what the fuck are you doing? You had kids. You're meant to love your kids. You're meant to love your wife. You're meant to, like, spend time with them and care for them. It's just, like, that very big thing of, you know, that these women are the same women who, like, view their husbands as extra kids, too. Because, like, they don't know how to look after anyone, including themselves. These women have such a massive weight on their shoulder that they have to run literally everything because their husbands do nothing. Ever. And then outside of just men not knowing how to look after their own kids, we have the men who don't know how to clean. It's just completely foreign to them. They've never seen a sponge before. in their lives. And so you have a lot of TikToks like these ones. When your wife goes away and you tell her everything will be okay. And then this guy is like with his laundry, just pouring washing powder over the top of his clothes. And then not knowing how to wash the dishes, not knowing what a vacuum is, and then just like looking out the window, being like, one day she'll come back. I don't know how to exist without her. And like, bro, you are a grown-ass man. You should know how to clean. You should know how to do these things. And I feel like going on the internet and being like, hey, I've never had to do a task in my entire life is not a flex. It's not really a joke. It's just kind of a self-own. You don't know how to wash your own underwear? Bro, that's not a flex. The fact that you like need your wife to do all of this for you, like you can't survive without her, is just sad. And the fact that you do all these things, you're like, look, partner, I can't do these things. You have to do them for me. Like that's so sad and gross. Because like maybe she wants a break. Maybe you should just, I don't know, do those things. Because saying that she does all of these things all the time while she's also got her own shit going on is like, bro, come on. Come on. Please, just learn to be an adult. And then, you know, this carries into the same sort of vibe and message of, fellas, remember that when your wife asks for help cleaning the house, just agree and get started. It'll only be a short amount of time before she doesn't like how you're doing it and take over anyways. Maybe you should just do it properly then. Maybe you should like know how to clean and like actually try to clean and help out. Because I feel like a lot of the time you're complaining, you're deliberately doing a bad job and missing things because you know that your wife is going to come in and take over. Like you don't want to do the tasks, so you do it incorrectly on purpose because you know that then you can get out of it, which is not cool. Just like be a grown up and like take care of yourself and your living space and just like contribute. And I understand this isn't one size fits all. Like everyone has a different split in responsibilities and such. And there are some like ability issues, which means some people genuinely can't do these tasks. And if that's like understood within a relationship, then I'm sure there are like other things you do for each other in order to, you know, help each other out. But I am aware that like not everyone can cook, not everyone can clean. But these men can do that and they are fully capable of doing that, but they choose to not. And they choose to effectively gaslight their partners, being like, I can't do it, it's too hard, you're gonna have to do it for me. Like, grow up, man. Stop doing that. Just help out when you're asked to. You shouldn't even need to be asked to. You should just do things because you care, because you want to, you know, not have your wife be so stressed out all the time, because you want to have a clean space, because you want to help out and like have more time with your partner too. Because like if they're constantly busy doing 100% of the chores while you're sitting down doing nothing, you're never gonna fucking see them because they're spending twice as long having to do all the tasks and they're gonna be fucking grumpy because you're not helping them out. Like, if you find that the kitchen is always clean or the laundry is always done and you've never once done either of those things, that's a bit of a problem. Maybe you should just, I don't know, one day clean the kitchen or do the laundry without having to be asked, just doing it because you want to help out because it's your house too. Like, just do a task. You know, it's not fair to put everything on one person, especially because I know that most of these women also work. No one should be burdened by everything. That's so much weight to carry. It should be a mutual effort. There should be joint understanding. And I just don't think they should have to ask. You know, I guess like it's fair to like talk about things of like, I'm gonna do this today and you can do this. And then you should just do it. You know, you can have like a roster, you can have specific tasks, like one of you could be in charge of the laundry and one of you could be in charge of cleaning the bedroom kind of thing, you know, like you can do that. You can roll a dice or like pull tasks out of a hat, whatever is going to work for you. But you should be able to share the responsibility without having to nag, you know? Like, they're not nagging, they're just asking for some help. Another trending sound under this tag is I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Me when my wife asks me to help clean the house. If I should stay, I would only be in the way, so I'll go. And it's them being like, well, I mean, you want me to clean, but like, I'll get in your way, so I'll be nice and I won't clean, you know? I'll get in your way. You don't want me in your way, do you? And it's like, bro, just get over it. Just get over it and help. You're not going to be in the way unless you're deliberately trying to be in the way. And I know that that's what a lot of people do. And I need you to fucking not do that. Just help out and be like a good partner. And if you really don't know what to do, if you really can't figure that out and you think you're going to be in the way, ask what they need help with. If your wife is cleaning the kitchen and you don't want to get in the way, my suggestion is then to go clean the bathroom. If your wife is like making the bed and cleaning the bedroom, then maybe you should go and do the dishes. Like, you can separate the tasks. And if you really truly don't know what to do, if you really can't figure it out, you can ask what needs doing and then you can do that. And I think that you should know what needs doing. I think that you should be aware of your surroundings and understand. But if you really truly can't figure it out, then you can do something. Like if your wife is cleaning, go look after the kids. Or if your wife is looking after the kids, you can do some cleaning. Like, figure it out. It's not that hard to be an adult and use some critical thinking skills. I just truly don't think it's that hard to be a good partner and contribute and help out around the house. You know? Too many people will just manipulate their partners and like use this weaponized incompetence because what are they gonna do, you know? It's that thing of being like, I can't do it, you'll have to do it for me. I can't do it. It's like, what can you do? It has to be done. And if they're not gonna do it, they just will do it. And these men know that. I see a lot of TikToks from women being like, I'm going to stop cleaning the kitchen and just see what happens. And they stop cleaning the kitchen and they just watch the dishes pile up. They watch the kitchen get like dirtier and dirtier. They stop picking up after their husbands and socks start being everywhere. Shit starts being all over the ground. And like usually their house is really clean and these men are like, what the fuck is going on? Why isn't the magic fairy picking up after me and doing all this stuff? And it's like, the magic fairy that you are imagining is your wife. Like, she's doing all of these things and you never even consider it. You never say thank you. You never help. You don't do shit. And like, the fact that after several days, they still don't do shit it's like, it must be so frustrating. Because like, just do it, you know? Like, if tasks that are usually done are not being done, it's clearly a sign being like, please fucking do something, because you never fucking do. You know? Like, have a conversation, help out, be an adult, please. And I think we'll finish it off with just like overall explaining what this entire thing is. When your wife asks you to do something, just respond with, but you're so much better at it than I am. Like, don't fucking do that. It doesn't matter. Like, that's because you refuse to try. And I promise they're not flattered by that. They just don't want to argue with you. Just, like, help out when you're asked, man. I know I keep saying the same thing over and over, but it's so bothersome. Like, these men refuse to look after their kids. They refuse to help with the chores. And then they complain about their wives always nagging them. It's like, if you just do things, then they won't feel the need to nag you anymore. Just, like, do things. I'm sure that when the dishes aren't cleaned, you nag your wife and you're like, excuse me, honey, why are the dishes dirty? It's like, I don't know. Why don't you fucking clean them yourself, Greg? Truly, truly infuriating. Anyway, those are all the TikToks that I saved. I didn't really go into a ton of all this. There's a lot more I could say. There's a lot deeper I could dive, but I am fed up and I am exhausted and I just can't, you know? Like, these women deserve so much better. These kids deserve so much better. And so many people settle for this because they think that it's all that there is. Like, I promise you, there are better partners. I promise you, there are people out there who care about you, who will care about your kids, who will help out, you know? Like, don't settle. You deserve better. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are up on the screen right now. And a huge, huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Harry, Toulouse, Bobby, Sparrow, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Trini, Ida, Raven, Danielle, Inoli Like Cannoli, Elias, Evie, Jewel, Apollo, Taylor is Trying, Boston, and Chris. I love and appreciate you all so, so much. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as bonus mini podcasts, outtakes, live streams, vlogs, and more. I've started doing live streams over there a little bit more recently. And also we have some travel vlogs up and more coming up too. So if you are interested in that, that would be amazing. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.